We are doing an Audacy check-in with Jesse McCartney. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
I'm good. I feel like this is such a big year for you. Congratulations on everything, including your new album, New Stage.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a whirlwind of a year. We thought this was all going to really unfold last year, but then the world ended, so we sort of had to postpone everything, and it's all becoming a reality. It's a pretty crazy time.
So was this album like, did you finish it before everything went down last year, or did you make any of it during?
Yeah, I finished it in like January of 2020, right before
Oh
everything.
my God.
It was the first time in like 5 albums in I don't know how many years that it was actually ahead of schedule. I made it a point to really be on top of everything and make sure all the marketing was done, all of
Oh no.
the mixing was done, everything was like lined up, teed up, ready to go. We'd be ready to go in March, and literally March is when the pandemic hit. So it was just one of those things.
Was that hard for you to like have to hold on to it and not go back and like think about what's on there and like tinker with it because it's not out yet?
Totally. And I couldn't help myself. I ended up tinkering and changing some stuff, all for the better, I think. But you give anybody enough time with their project to sit around, you're gonna change it.
Especially a creative person. Like I can't even imagine like having to sit with it for over a year.
Luckily, I didn't do any. Luckily, I knew the writing was finished. I spent so much time on the writing, and I was sort of written out. Like I didn't have any more ideas. But I just sort of played with different mixes and production, and I just started, like you said, I started tinkering a bit, but all for the better. And the project is finally out, and the reaction's been overwhelmingly positive. So I'm very happy with how it turned out.
Well, good. It's good. What are you most proud of with it?
Well, I think just like the honesty, factor. I think it's just sort of a nice big reveal into my world, and it sort of pulls back the curtain into what has transpired over the last 15, 16 years in my life, what it's been like for me as a young kid coming up into the industry, all through his 20s and now into my early 30s. It's like, it's sort of a memoir. And then also, a huge part of this album was the relationship that I'm now in with Katie, and how that has affected my life in such a positive way. So yeah, I think it's just it's sort of an insight, an introspective look into what's going on in my life. And lyrically, I'm really proud of the record. It feels just very stripped back. There's not a lot of tricks like a couple of my previous albums. It's not production heavy. It's really just about being thoughtful in the songwriting.
Well, as a songwriter, do you write for yourself, like with the intention of writing for yourself, or do you ever, as you're writing music, you're like, wait, I want that?
Wait, what do you mean? So,
because I know you write for other people.
Right. Oh, well, when it comes to my stuff, I tend to get even a little bit more personal. So I try to write about things that have actually happened or transpired in my life, whether they're good or bad, or happy or fun, whatever it is. I just try to incorporate a little bit of that like extra personal touch to it. So, and all the while I still try to make it relatable. I mean, it's still pop music and you can't take yourself too seriously, but I think that when people get a sense that you're talking about yourself or a personal relationship, I think they're a little bit more tuned in and connected to what you have to say. So, if you take Party for Two, for example, which is my last single that we released, it's very clearly a love letter to, my fiance, and it's about sort of the two of us. But I think a lot of people can relate, especially some of my earlier fans who are now getting either engaged or in a long-term relationship, can relate to some of the things that I'm saying in the song, because everyone has like their thing with their partner, right? Everyone has their special thing. So
what about it sonically was like different in the way you approach creating this as compared to anything you've done in the past?
Well, I don't know that it's completely different it's more reminiscent of some of my earlier stuff. And like I said, there's not a ton of production. So it's sonically, it has just more of a singer-songwriter feel, more organic instrumentation wise. It's not like crazy synth heavy, or, there's a lot of live drums and live acoustic guitar and electric guitar, but there's no piano even, but there's not a ton of, crazy Juno synths or 80s.
Yeah.
It's not like a Black Eyed Peas album, it's very kind of laid back.
I feel like we kind of miss that in music because, things have gotten kind of synth heavy, which is great in its own respect. But like that stripped down very early 2000s, like Gavin DeGraw kind of sound, like Jack Johnson, like that kind of vibe, I feel like hasn't been around for a while. And like as we are kind of like retrending to that time period, I feel like there's a need for it again.
Music goes through all kinds of phases. I'm sure in just a few short years, the early 2000s sounds will be right back where, in fashion, it already is. So I'm sure music is right around the corner.
Well, pop punk's back.
Yeah, exactly. You have that whole Machine Gun Kelly Blink sound coming back in a huge way in pop music. So yeah, music's a cyclical thing. And as the young generation discovers older music, they want to interpret it and recreate it themselves.
Yeah. Well, how fun was it shooting the music video for Party for Two? Because it looks like a blast.
It was great. I mean, I shot both videos actually with Katie and with separate, different directors. But Party for Two was really fun. It was super intimate and it was a very laid back, easy shoot. And to me, actually, I think the more intricate or the more interesting of the videos was Kiss the World Goodbye, which was the first single, which is a little bit more intensive. It was on a huge movie set with, it was like a full on heist, shootout kind of, it felt like a mini film, to be honest with you. And in many respects, it was as expensive as an independent film. I really enjoyed that. And we kind of get to play like the anti-hero, where we have to do this terrible thing and rob this like harmless man to save my family. And it was a really nice moment. And how often do we get to do that? So it was cool. It was our Bonnie and Clyde moment.
I love that. Well, let's talk about tour. What can we expect and what are you most excited for about it?
I just can't wait to be on stage again. I mean, I've gotten a little taste of it with the colleges and with the music festivals and the fairs that we've been doing over the last couple months. But it's going to be nice to be in front of like a hometown, the loyal fan base who have been looking forward to this for a few years. I'm really excited to play all the new music. Of course, we're going to play some of the older stuff, but the new music is always the most fun as an artist when you get to go out there and rearrange songs and get the songs up on their feet, so to speak, and kind of see how they play live. So I'm just looking forward to seeing everybody again. And I feel like music is such a healing experience more now than ever with what we've been through over the last couple of years. It's being on stage is just like, I've seen people just really into it more often, more than they usually are. They're just really paying attention and you can just feel them feeling the music, it's nice.
Yeah, definitely. Well, hey, your wedding is very soon, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like next Saturday.
Oh my God, I didn't realize it was that soon.
We're 10 days, I don't know. Yeah, next Saturday. It's 10 days away or something. 11 days.
The countdown is on. How involved were you with the planning, or were you the kind of husband that's like, I'll just let you do your thing?
No, I had a hand in some of it. I mean, Katie did most of the heavy lifting, and we have an incredible wedding planner and team that like helped us out with stuff. But because I was simultaneously promoting an album and touring, so it's been it's been crazy. But I was in charge of the music. So
okay.
Nice. I got to put together the wedding band, which was really fun. And I got a hand in some of the food selection. We went up to where we're getting married, and we literally spent an entire weekend just eating all of the food that we're going to have on wedding day.
That's the best part.
Best part, food and wine. Everything else was kind of, Katie's doing.
Yeah. I feel like that's how it always goes. Like girls do the coloring and like the stuff like that. Guys, music, food.
Yeah. I mean, seems fair.
Are you doing a bachelor party?
I already did my bachelor party. We did that a couple months ago. Katie and I did ours on the same weekend in different cities. So we got that out of our system, and now it's time to tie the knot.
That's exciting. Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
I was thinking about, before I got the chance to talk to you, because I was a massive Dream Street fan when I was 10. And I had a Dream Street calendar. I remember growing up, and I was thinking, like, I feel like in the early 2000s, they always put pop stars' face on like really weird items. Do you recall a very strange item that they might have put your face on, like a hairbrush or like something like that?
We were on a toothbrush, which would buzz the entirety of the song. It was called "It Happens Every Time," as you know, the name of the Dream Street's big single, and it was. I guess the idea was that kids would brush their teeth to the length of the song. So it was a
Did they do 2 minutes?
So it was like, 2.5 or 3 minutes or whatever it was. And I'm not sure that it actually worked.
Sure.
I'm not, but that was probably the strangest thing, is seeing my face on the end of a toothbrush,
Yeah, definitely. I'm honestly surprised I didn't own that. Well, we always like to end conversations with Fast Five Faves. Just ask you your favorite things. What is your favorite show to binge right now?
Squid Game.
Oh, yeah, you did that. Did you finish it?
I just finished it the other night. It's heavy.
Did you go subtitles or dubbed over?
Subtitles. It's the only way to go. Dubbing over is just ridiculous. First of all, the dubbing actors, and then it just doesn't. The emotion's not there. I think you have to watch it in Korean and then subtitles over it for sure.
For sure. Favorite home cooked meal?
Ooh, probably Katie does this like cheesy nip chicken. It's like cheese nips. It's like.
Oh,
it's a little trashy, to be honest with you, but it's so delicious. It's like cheese nips and like butter, and like it's basically fried chicken, but you bake it in the oven with cheese nips, and it's delicious.
No, that's the best kind of stuff.
It's like sour cream and cheese nips, like made into a thing, and then you smear it all over the chicken and then bake it like a casserole. It's so good. But then
it sounds delicious.
You need to you need a shot of insulin afterwards.
Favorite podcast right now?
Smartless. Have you heard the Smartless podcast?
I haven't.
It's with Sean Hayes, Jason Bateman, and Will Arnett. And three of them are, I love comedy and comedy. It's basically a real like microcosm of what's going on in like the comedy world. It's kind of like this real club, if you will, of comedians that just get together and talk about all their cool adventures in comedy and making movies together. And they interview everybody, and each episode, one of those three guys brings on a new person to interview. I just heard the Tina Fey one recently.
Oh,
they don't tell the other two guys who's coming on the show. So it's pretty fun. Like, it's a big reveal who's coming on the show.
I'll definitely have to check that out, because I do love interview and like comedy podcasts. So it's like right up my alley.
I love it.
Favorite housewarming gift to get someone? Like, one of your friends is like, I got a new house. You come over, you bring something.
I'm usually good at bringing booze. Like, that always works for me.
Do you have a go-to, or is it like whatever they like?
It's whatever I know they like. If they're like wine people, I'll bring a really nice like vintage wine. If they're whiskey, like one of my buddies just got a place actually up the street from me, and I brought him a really nice whiskey. But yeah, I think, booze always works.
Sure. And then I guess this is a good way to end. Favorite cocktail?
Oh man. Jeez. I'm a whiskey guy. Like if I'm going to a sports bar to watch a baseball game or a football game, like I'm pretty simple. I just want like a shot of Jameson and a beer. But if I'm having like a nice cocktail, probably like an old aged bourbon,
Okay.
Like an old fashioned or a Manhattan.
Okay. I respect that. Well, thank you so much, Jesse McCartney, for doing an Audacy check-in with us, and good luck on the wedding. That's so exciting. Congrats.
Thank you, Julia. I really appreciate it. Stay safe out there.
You too. Have a good one.
All right. Bye.